What's up? It's Katie, and today I'm making a video about my experience using naltrexone, or what's known as the Sinclair method for alcohol use disorder. Um, I am making this video because discovering this method has just changed my life. So I wanted to share my experience, and I discovered it from an actress by the name of Claudia Christian, who has been practicing this method for years. She has a TED Talk about it, which I'll link below. So, a little bit of a backstory. I'm 30 years old, and I didn't really start binge drinking or heavily drinking until I was 22 or so. I was with a guy at the time who was a very heavy drinker, and I adapted that behavior as well. And at first I saw it as fun and innocent, something you do at that age. But as the years progressed and as I was approaching 30, I really took a look and I realized my pattern for drinking and how much I drink, especially I would notice it more when I'm drinking with others because I would just see people have a glass or two of wine and be done, and here I am wanting to finish a bottle and beyond. So I was also noticing how much my mind space was just being occupied by the desire to drink and the cravings for drinking, and if I wasn't drinking, I was thinking about drinking. It really became to be like this thing that my life revolved around, where by the end of the workday I would just be racing home or racing to happy hour to have a cocktail or something. It was like my release after a hard day or after a good day. Any day I wanted to have a cocktail. So I started doing research for methods to reduce cravings for alcohol or how to stop drinking, just because I was really feeling like I was being controlled by this addiction. I had tried to quit a few times, and I quit once for 6 months, quit a few other times for a month or two here and there, but nothing ever really stuck, and I would always go back to drinking and just the pattern would pick right back up again. So I discovered naltrexone, which it was not easy to get. I called doctors around in my area, and many of them hadn't even heard about it. A couple people told me it would be thousands of dollars of treatment, and I'd have to be observed, and all of these things. So it wasn't easy to find the medication, but I did end up finding a doctor who does video appointments in California. That's where I was able to get the prescription finally. I've heard of people having to go to Indian pharmacies in India to get the prescription, or I don't know why it's so hard. So I finally got the prescription, and I'll link the foundation below, which is where I found the doctor for the medication. And it's just been a hugely successful method. I started it about 2.5 months ago, and they say it takes 4 to 8 months to fully realize the benefits of it, and I started to realize the benefits right away, and my doctor that I saw was super happy to hear that because that's not always the case. But basically, at the first time I took it, you take it 1 hour before you drink. You only take it when you drink, and it works like an opiate blocker. So it blocks receptors in your brain so that endorphins are not produced. Reward endorphins are not produced when you drink, so you don't get that rush of the alcohol buzz. You still get buzzed, you still feel it, but it's not the same experience. It's not as fulfilling or enjoyable. And in fact, as I've been on the method, the less and less enjoyable drinking is for me. So the first time I took it, normally I'd have at least two big glasses of wine, or 3 or more, who knows. But I took it and I had a glass of wine and I was just done. I had absolutely no desire to have more. And I've never in my life had that experience where I didn't want more alcohol, especially after having a first drink. So as time was going on and I'm taking it, it's kind of been a pattern of up and down, where I'll have a drink and then sometimes I'll have another one or two. Sometimes I'll have one and I'll be totally done, and I don't know what the the causes for those different experiences. But over the 2.5 months, what's basically happened, if I were to have charted a graph, is that it's been on a decline, my desire to drink and how much to drink. When I first went on the method, the doctor that prescribed me, she suggested that I try to drink for 30 days straight in order to let the medication start working on me right away. Because each time you drink, it's like a reinforcer. It's retraining your brain to not have those reward endorphins for alcohol. So I was like, no problem. So doctor's telling me to drink for 30 days. And I got to like day 3, and on day 4 I was like, no, like the thought of alcohol, I was just like, ugh, I could not do it. So yeah, now it's been 2.5 months. I still am drinking, but like, for example, 5 or 6 days just went by and I hardly even thought about alcohol. I had no desire to drink. I had a glass of wine last night because it was Friday night, and I felt like it was more out of habit or something rather than even wanting the glass of wine. I had a small glass and I was just no desire for more. So I'm loving this method. I really feel like it's changed my life. I don't have those obsessive compulsive thoughts to crave alcohol, or when am I going to drink, or what am I going to drink, or when's my next drink, or oh, I shouldn't drink. Just like these thoughts that would occupy my mind like so much time, I can't even tell you. And those are pretty much gone. And I've noticed that I've been able to pick up hobbies that I love otherwise. So I've got this free time where I'm not spent drinking, especially in the evenings, and I'm picking up hobbies that I love. I've been reading, I've been watching foreign films, I've been doing crafts, and I love to sew and make clothes, and so I've been doing all these things. Like, it's almost like I feel like I did when I was a kid again. I'm like exploring different ways to have fun and spend my time in life. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend this method to anybody who is finding themselves in a place where alcohol might be in control of your life. I think now in this day in the United States and where I live, and drinking is so readily accepted, and it's like, you know, all these like marketing things for wine anytime and beer and all these craft breweries and craft wineries and all these things. It's like it's become acceptable to drink like all the time. And I wonder, you know, because I was someone who was not very vocal about my addiction. I was in quite a bit of a denial about it, actually. And just because it is so accepted and it is such a fun thing to do, especially when you're wrapped up in like the compulsion and the addiction of it. But now I just feel like I don't have these chains on me anymore. It feels so good to be free from that addiction. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend this method. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Oh yeah, the medication, it's like you get 30 pills in a prescription, and it's like $1 a pill. So it's really affordable, and the more you use it, the less you use it over time. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Take care.